Hi, I'm Sandy Schroek, and today we're taking a look at a new trending color combination of this deep, rich coral and the plums and burgundies. We're going to be featuring the Amsterdam rose that comes in that beautiful dark, rich coral look, and then the Corcega spray rose that comes in that coral. Those two together make a great combination, but then we're going to combine them with some of the burgundy rich tones. We're featuring the LBR grown Burgundy Alstroemeria, a red stock that adds that fragrance in that everybody's looking for, and then red velvet scoops, which adds some interest and texture into the bouquet. We're going to be creating a vase using our stem grid technique and using the lower profile ruby red vase. So why don't we get started? To start off with, we're going to use some value greens. I've got some salal tips here, and I'm going to be utilizing them to start creating my stem grid pattern. So my first insertion comes in one way, and then I cross over that, going in with the next piece and turn it, cross over and cross over. And what we're doing is making X's in. Each time we come in, we go over the top of that X, and that's a technique that I call a stem grid. So I'm not utilizing time to create a taped top that ends up coming off, but so we've got a good solid base here with some of our salal tips. The next thing we do on our stem grid technique is actually start from the outside of the vase in. So we're going to be coming in with some of these stock. I look at some of the stronger stems first, look down in, and I go across those X's as well. I'll put one flower in at a time, and using those crossing techniques, by the time I come to putting flowers in that I want to stand up in the middle, I'm going to have a great supportive system in there that does that. One of the other techniques that we use is that we want to use a combination of long-lasting materials in with some of our temperate flowers. So I'm always mixing in some of the different buttons. When you look at these buttons and these scoops, they look like friends. And so I'm going to use those scoops dancing right on top, and I'm going to use these buttons coming around a little bit lower in, and to create that visual interest that pulls those two components together and really adds a lot more value. When they're looking at those scoops on top that are something that's a little bit more expensive, they will see the repetition that comes in from the buttons that we're using. So this is the Corcega spray rose that's in a coral color, great stem strength, and just coming in. So we're just gonna come in with those coming one side to the other. So now I've really kind of have my outer rim all done. When I'm choosing materials that go together, you want that combination of textures. So you saw the smaller button has a little bit more feathery texture. We have the Alstroemeria that's going to come in. A spray rose that gives me a little bit of the smaller velvety finish. And then I'm going to come in with some of the larger Amsterdam roses. Here I'm putting in that waxy finish that kind of gives me that berry look, coming in with the Hypericum, and then I'm going to come in with some of that brilliant Alstroemeria and see how it fills up lots of space. Ooh. Design on a turntable to keep my designs even all the way around. And now I'm going to come in with my feature flowers. So the roses, If you're less experienced, I would encourage you to pull that vase to the edge of the table and then come down. You mark your finger where you're gonna do your cut, and then that way you're gonna get all those stems all the way down to the bottom of the vase. And if a customer never adds water, you're still gonna be okay, because you've got a great stem insertion and that flower all the way down into your vase. And hopefully they will continue to add water and continue to supply nutrients to the flowers so they really get a long-lasting appearance. So I've got 5 of those in and just coming in the feature areas, and then we're gonna come in with a couple of scoops right over the top. So really more of a basic vase shape, but just talking about some of the updated color combinations, really utilizing some of those rich colors that were in the roses that we're able to get now. One of the new fillers that we're seeing a lot of people use is Lepidum, and has that fine textural finish, kind of a feathery. Comes on multiple stems, so lots of times to just improve efficiency, I'm gonna lay 2 together. I do that many times on my filler flowers rather than do 2 insertions. I'm gonna lay a couple stems together and put those in with 1 insertion. Don't you like the fresh look that gives it? Really kind of updated, and it's just something that's gonna have your customers ask, what is that, you know, and just a little bit different than the competition. And then just right now, a little seasonal touch could be added, and so we're gonna add a little bit, a couple stems of the fresh wheat in here. Just another little textural difference. And then just a couple stems of the millet as well. I like the drapiness of it, and just adds a point of interest into the design. Here you can see our updated color collection, and this piece features those brilliant coral roses and spray roses in contrast with those burgundy, plum, rich colors and tones that really add that pop of color that's gonna delight any customers adorning their tables. I'm Sandy Schroek for LBR Educates, and I hope I've inspired you to create some fabulous florals.